Lead us to truth and not to untruth. Lead us to enlightenment and not ignorance. Lead us to immortality and not death. Let the self-manifest Atman grow in me. Om, peace, peace, peace. I bow to Govinda, whose nature is bliss supreme, who is thus Sadguru, who can be known only from the import of all Vedanta, and who is beyond the reach of speech and mind. We are studying Vivekachudamani and its crest jewel of discrimination. Crest jewel of discrimination. Discrimination. It is to separate from truth, from untruth to truth, or to find out truth which is mingled, as if two things are mixed up. As Sri Ramakrishna gave example, balite chinite mishe ache. The sand and sugar is mixed up. We see it is same, but an ant recognizes, because ant has power of segregation, power of discrimination, and immediately it understands. See, many times a child says, "No, I have not taken, I have not taken." But we know that he has taken. So how we know? Even thieves say, "I have not stolen. I swear, I have not stolen." But we know he has stolen. How we know? It is because of our power of discrimination. We see light only. We don't see darkness. Darkness cannot be seen. How can you see darkness? But somehow we have this notion that we see darkness also. If there is light of yourself, then only you can see, on that what is absent, then you can say, oh, okay, maybe that's the darkness. But darkness has no existence of its own. So what is the point? The point is we have that power of discrimination, but somehow we have become a bit callous. Callous means not alert. That means we are not cautious enough. We see a rope, we presume it is a snake. And sometimes when you see a snake and you presume rope, the other day I went to the retreat and it was a real snake. So I took a picture. Yeah, I did. Yeah, though I took picture, but I could not see the head. So why this happens? It happens because we are not alert. We are not exercising our power of discrimination. That is why we need this power of discrimination. And by the power of this discrimination, the disciple has reached that goal. Now he sees there is no darkness, there is no mortality, there is no even bondage. But as of now, we see bondage, we see darkness. So because we have not realized. So anyway, we need to cultivate this power of discrimination. That is why we need to study Vivekachudamani very much. Until or unless we cultivate this power of discrimination, our efforts will go in vain. Do we have this power of discrimination? Yes, we have. Because when we go for shopping, we don't buy anything and everything. We read it, whether it is organic, non-organic, or it is vegan, or it is what it is exactly, gluten-free. So all these things, we have power of discrimination, but sometimes you are not alert. So to cultivate that alertness, we need to study Vivekachudamani. Now here, we have reached that state where the disciple has reached. Now let us go to, because there is no reading today. David, are you there?
Yes, Swami.
You did not send anything to read?
Oh, I did. I sent it about 7:10, 7:15 though.
7:10, but okay, let us read a little. But we will complete today, not to worry. Because, we get some inspiration from Swamiji. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you see what I emailed?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now Yama answers the question, what becomes of a man when the body dies? This wise one never dies, is never born. It arises from nothing, and nothing arises from it. Unborn, eternal, everlasting. This ancient one can never be destroyed with the destruction of the body. If the slayer thinks he can slay, or if the slain thinks he is slain, they both do not know the truth, for the self neither slays nor is slain. A most tremendous position. I should like to draw your attention to the adjective in the first line, which is wise. As we proceed, we shall find that the ideal of the Vedanta is that all wisdom and all purity are in the soul already. Dimly expressed or better expressed, that is all the difference.
Okay, let me give some example. Otherwise, it's only reading does not make any sense. So, say suppose we give example. There is a cloud. I cannot see the sun. So what happens? If I think, oh, there is no sun. Is it true? It is not. Because I cannot see, but sun is shining very much. See, when we say it is night now, but there is no night in sun. It will be relevant when we go there. We'll read today what is being said. The person who thinks that he is killed, or the person who thinks that he is killing, both do not know. Because the self cannot be slain. Nainam chinnanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledayante apo, na shoshayati mat. All these are various states. All these come in front of us and then moves away. Say, half an hour before we were not here, but now we are here. After a certain time, then we'll all go away from here. But room will be there. Or we can see all these experiences are being floating, or those experiences are floating on our consciousness. The person who thinks that he is killed, it's only his thinking, his thought. And the person who thinks that he has killed, he also does not know, because it is only his thinking. Then somebody will say, what about the body? We see that body lies dead. Yes, that's also thinking. That means all these are happening on our thought process. You see, like many questions will come. Those questions are already answered. So we'll go ahead. Yes.
The difference between man and all things in the whole creation is not in kind, but only in degree. The background, the reality of everyone is that same eternal, ever blessed, ever pure, and ever perfect one. It is the Atman, the soul, in the saint and in the sinner, in the happy and the miserable, in the beautiful and the ugly, in men and animals. It is the same throughout. It is the shining one. The difference is caused by the power of expression. In some, it is expressed more, in others less. But this difference of expression has no effect upon the Atman. If in their dress one man shows more of his body than another, it does not make any difference in their bodies. The difference is in their dress. We had better remember here that throughout the Vedanta philosophy, there is no such thing as good and bad. They are not two different things. The same thing is good or bad, and the difference is only in degree. The very thing I call pleasure.
Okay, why there is no good and bad? Because whatever is good today, say, if a person is earning, say, $2,000 per month, if he gets an offer which is $5,000 per month, then this 2,000 is it is less, and therefore that will give pain. So anything is not good or bad, it is how we take it. And say suppose a person walks on footpath. If he gets a cycle, he's happy. But if he gets a motorbike, then he's more happy. He will not touch the cycle. Or if he gets a car, then even motorbike will give him misery. So what is the point? The point is, it is not in things of the world, but how we take that is more important. Yes.
The very thing I call pleasurable today, tomorrow under better circumstances, I may call pain. The fire that warms us can also consume us. It is not the fault of the fire. Thus, the soul being pure and perfect, the man who does evil is giving the lie unto himself. He does not know the nature of himself. Even in the murderer, the pure soul is there. It dies not. It was his mistake. He could not manifest it. He had covered it up. Nor in the man who thinks that he is killed is the soul killed. It is eternal. It can never be killed, never destroyed. Infinitely smaller than the smallest, infinitely larger than the largest, this Lord of all is present in the depths of every human heart. The sinless, bereft of all misery, see him through the mercy of the Lord, the bodiless, yet dwelling in the body, the spaceless, yet seeming to occupy space, infinite, omnipresent, knowing such to be the soul. Sages never are miserable.
So it looks like all riddle, all adjectives. Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. It is subtler than the subtlest, and it is greater than the greatest. See, if you look the whole universe, such a huge universe, and you are the tiniest person. But if you see a picture, in that picture there is a universe. So you are looking at a picture. You are the greatest. It's not that what is outside there. In your imagination, you are seeing this. Say, in your dream, you see a whole world. So who is greater? Is the dream great or you are great? But when you see from outside, it looks like you are a pygmy, you are small being. So this happens because of the perspective. But what is being said? Anuraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. It is subtler than the subtlest. This here, your consciousness is very subtle. You cannot perceive. Even nowadays, science is trying to figure out, and it's going deeper and deeper, nanometer and beyond that, and so many. And even say 10 to the power minus 10 or 12, whatever they have reached. But they are going deeper and deeper. They are not finding the limit of that. Why? Because it is not there. It is here within us. And when we compare with it, then we see it is only infinitesimal. So anyway, we go forward. Yes.
This Atman is not to be realized by the power of speech, nor by a vast intellect, nor by the study of their Vedas. This is a very bold utterance. As I told you before, the sages were very bold thinkers and never stopped at anything. You will remember that in India, these Vedas are regarded in a much higher light than even the Christians regard their Bible. Your idea of revelation is that a man was inspired by God. But in India, the idea is that things exist because they are in the Vedas. In and through the Vedas are the whole creation has come. All that is called knowledge is in the Vedas. Every word is sacred and eternal. Eternal is the soul, without beginning and without end. The whole of the Creator's mind is in this book, as it were. That is the light in which the Vedas are held. Why is this thing moral? Because the Vedas say so. Why is that thing immoral? Because the Vedas say so. In spite of that, look at the boldness of these sages whom proclaimed that the truth is not to be found by much study of the Vedas. With whom the Lord is pleased, to that man he expresses himself. But then the objection may be advanced that this is something like partisanship. But Yama explains those who are evildoers, whose minds are not peaceful, can never see the light. It is to those who are true in heart, pure in deed, whose senses are controlled, that the self manifests itself.
Yeah, that's it. So until or unless the heart is pure, we cannot see what is lying behind this. That is why navirato na duscharito, na shanto na samahita. That means those who have not stopped their bad or evil karma, they cannot see it. So why it is required? It is required to clear our understanding. As we purify ourselves, things are clearer. So knowledge is not in the book. Knowledge is here. Book only, through book we get suggestions and we discover knowledge within. So knowledge is within us, not outside there, somewhere there. Therefore, Vedas cannot reveal, though according to us Indians, everything, all knowledge is in Veda. But Veda cannot reveal. How it is? Say like this. The whole Atma Jnana is here in this book. As we read, it is revealed. But it is not the book that reveals. It is the striving person who has cleared and cleansed one's heart. He can discover it. Yes.
Here is a beautiful figure. Picture the self to be then that rider in this body, the chariot, the intellect be the charioteer, the mind the reins, and the senses the horses. He whose horses are well broken, and whose reins are strong and kept well in the hands of the charioteer, the intellect, reaches the goal, which is the state of him, the omnipresent. But the man whose horses, the senses, are not controlled, nor the reins, the mind, well managed, goes to destruction. This Atman in all beings does not manifest himself to the eyes or the senses, but those whose minds have become purified and refined realize him. Beyond all sound, all sight, beyond form, absolute, beyond all taste and touch, infinite, without beginning and without end, even beyond nature, the unchangeable. He who realizes him frees himself from the jaws of death. But it is very difficult. It is, as it were, walking on the edge of a razor. The way is long and perilous, but struggle on, do not despair. Awake, arise, and stop not till the goal is reached.
Okay, so Swamiji said, why it is important to cleanse our own heart. It is required because otherwise we have five senses like five horses. And the self is riding in this chariot. If the horses are not tamed, then horses would take the rider, or they would like to take to various directions. So ultimately, what will happen? It will get derailed, or say like it will lose its orientation, and maybe it will fall down. That is why the cleansing of heart is very important. And how to cleanse our heart? By repetition of God's name, by singing his glories, or by cultivation of discrimination, vivek, vairagya, and renunciation, and six treasures that we have already studied, and strong desire to have freedom, mukti, mumuksha, muktiricha mumuksha. So this is what Swamiji has said. Now let us go back to our text. Abrittehe sadasattabhyam vaktabhye bandhamokshane. So what is bandhan? What is moksha? Because we have done it. So let us go to our text so that we can find the translation. So what is bandhan? What is bondage? What is freedom? The bondage and liberation may be talked of when there is the presence or absence of a covering veil. I gave example of sun. Sun is covered by a cloud. Similarly, sun is within us. It is covered by our ignorance. So we do not know what we are, and we are searching and looking for it. But self has never stopped or never unmanifested. It is already all the time there. What has happened that because of our not knowing things correctly, we think we are bound. So bondage and liberation may be talked of when there is the presence of or absence of a covering veil. But there can be no covering veil for Brahman, which is always uncovered. See, Brahman has no bondage. You have your real self has no bondage at all. See, when you are in deep sleep, you're not bound. So it is not that it cannot be achieved. This bondage is because when we are aware of something else that is covering, then we are bound. So, but there can be no covering veil for Brahman, which is always uncovered, for want of a second thing, because there is no second. Neha nanasti kinchana. Ekam eva advitiyam. Therefore, it is alone. When it is alone, how can you cover it? The sun is alone. You cannot cover it. Well, if you cover something, that will be burnt. If you cover the sun, which is always uncovered for want of a second thing besides itself. See, covering means what? There must be something else by which it is covered. See, if I am covering, this is covered. As Sri Ramakrishna While giving example today, he said, now you see, I'm putting my towel in front of me. You cannot see now. So when there is a second thing that can put as a cover, but from the highest standpoint, there is no two. Neha nanasti kinchana. Here there are not maybe many. Ekam eva advitiyam. This is here it is one without a second. So how can it be covered? It cannot be. If there be the non-duality of Brahman, will be contradicted. If there be the non-duality of Brahman, will be contradicted. If there is another one, then this neha nanasti kinchana ekam eva advitiyam, this will be contradicted. So it cannot be. And the Shruti can never brook duality. Shruti never broke duality. So now next, bondage, bandhancha mokshancha mrishaiva mudha, buddhir gunam vastuni kalpayanti. Drigavritim meghakritam yatha ravau yato dvayasanga chideta tadaksharam. Bondage and liberation are attributes of the buddhi, intellect. Like a person was incarcerated for long, say 30 years in a dungeon, and he has not seen light for 30 years. And after 30 years, he was released. So he could not see this light. What is this? Because he had that habit not to see this. So even if he is released, like another story, very nice story. A washerman used to take a donkey. He put all his luggage on the backside of the donkey and would take to a river. And every day he tie down the donkey with a tree, with a rope, and to a tree. And then he would do his work, and again while going, he would untie the rope and take the donkey. One day he forgot. So what to do? And if he leaves donkey, then he cannot, the donkey will stray away. So what to do? So he was in a dilemma. So one gentleman saw him. Why are you thinking? So today I forgot to bring my ropes. Oh, is it so? Don't worry. You show him, like as you tie every day, so you tie like that. And falsely, you tie with the tree also. And then you do your work. But it will go away. No, it will not. See how it works. So he did that. He feigned that he was tying, and then he started working, and donkey was there. And after that, work was over. The man put all his luggage on donkey, but donkey would not move. So that other gentleman said, he could not understand, because it still thinks that it is bound. So it is not moving. So what you have to do, you have to again feign that you are untying. And you do that, and then donkey will start. And he did the same thing. And then donkey started to So the bondage, that it is bound with the tree, that was in donkey's mind, in intellect. That is why when he feigned to tie, he thought, I am tied down, I cannot move. And while at the time of return, though it was not tied, but it was thinking that I'm still tied. So he was not moving. So what is being said? This bondage and release is only quality of our intellect. The bondage and liberation are attributes of the intellect, which ignorant people falsely superimpose on the reality. So we may laugh at the donkey, but we also are like that. It's in our mind that we think that we are bound. As the covering of the eyes by a cloud, say like if I cover like this and I say, oh, there is no light, there is no sun. It's a it is a foolery. Covering the eyes by the cloud is transferred to the sun. So we think that, oh, there is no sun. So what? Actually, I am covering my eyes. And we think that it is transferred to the sun. For this immutable Brahman is knowledge absolute, the one without a second and unattached. So Drigad Vritti Meghakrutam Yatharavo Yato Advaya Sangachiter Adaksharam. So this is Aksharam. It is not Ksharati, not diminishes, and it is unattached. It is absolute. So all these bondage and release is in our mind. What type of mind? The mind which is not pure. Pure mind becomes no mind. That is why it is called Manonasha. Mind becomes no mind. It's like the emperor was given a robe and he thought this wonderful fine muslin. So, but actually it was not and only a child could see that there was no robe. Anyway, astiti pratyayo yascha nastiti vastuni buddhireva gunaveto natu nityasya vastunaha. The idea that bondage exists and the idea that it does not are with reference to the reality, both attributes of the buddhi merely. Mere buddhi means intellect, and never belong to the eternal reality, Brahman. So, this idea, see what happens. Suppose we were sleeping and we dreamt. And in dream, we saw that, there is an examination tomorrow and I have to study hard. And what will happen because I have not prepared myself. So all the time this worry is there. All of a sudden, your mother comes or somebody comes and wakes you up. Now, will you worry for the exam tomorrow? You will not, because you know it is all dream. Even a tiger was chasing you, but you will not be worried about that tiger because it was in our dream. Dream means in our intellect, which is not pure. So only thing is to be done is to purify our intellect. So there is bondage or there is no bondage. It is all in our intellect. But Nitya, the eternal being, is not bound by that, not affected by that. Ataha tau maya klipto bandhamoksho na chatmani nishkale nishkriye shanti niravadya niranjani advitiye pare tattve bomavat kalpana krutam. Therefore, Hence, this bondage and liberation are created by Maya. Maya means by our ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing things correctly. We know something. It is not total absence of knowledge, but it's a confused thinking. Hence, this bondage and liberation are created by Maya and are not in the Atman, not in the Atman. Because it's like sun, the bondage cannot taint it. How can there be any idea of limitation with regard to the supreme truth, which is without parts, without activity, calm, unimpeachable, taintless, niranjanam nityam anantarupam, and one without a second, as there can be none with regard to the infinite sky. Say like a sky, we say, oh, see blue sky. But blueness is only attributed. There is no color of space or sky. It is only attributed because of some refraction that we observe. But in reality, there is no color. Therefore, na nirodha na chotpatti. Baddho na cha sadhaka. Na baddho na cha sadhaka. Na mumukshur na vai mukta ittesha paramartha. So, what is the supreme truth? Supreme truth. This shloka is in Amrita Bindu Upanishad and also in Gaudapada Karika. So, what is the meaning? There is neither death nor birth. What are you saying, Swami? I see children are born and people die. Other day, one of our friends died. How can that be? Yes, body dies. Body is born. We are not talking about body. There is neither death nor birth, neither a bound nor a struggling soul. Sadhaka. Sadhaka means those who are striving. Then we should think that, oh, there is no need of sadhana, no need of seeking. No. For us, because we feel ignorance, because we feel bondage, that is why we need to practice something by which we can go beyond. That is important. But here, what is being said? He who has realized, for him there is no birth, no death. Na chotpatti, na baddho na sadhaka. And that's in the beginning, as Swamiji said, it is from Mundak Upanishad. Kathopanishad. So Kathopanishad. Ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyamane shariri. I mean, in Gita also it is there. This body will perish. Why? Because it is combination of so many things. But that which is behind this body-mind complex, behind this intellect, behind this, even the sheath of bliss, that cannot die. Because it is not a combination. It is unique thing and it is in all being. It is not only in me or in somebody else. No, it is present everywhere. It is present everywhere. Yomam pashyati sarvatram sarvam cha mai pashyati. He who sees me everywhere and everywhere who and everything he sees in me. Yomam pashyati sarvatram sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. Neither he destroys me nor I destroy him. That means there is no two. So na nirodho na chotpatti, na baddho na cha sadhaka, na mumukshur vai. Even there is no mumukshu. Mumukshu means the person who is seeking liberation. This is the state when one has gone beyond. Says Sri Ramakrishna. It is like this. So you can see. I'll give 2-3 examples. A student is admitted in a school. He goes through the grades one after another. And when he passes out, say after PhD also, and after DSc, Doctor of Science and whatever, like Einstein, though he was not that qualified, but he does not require any, because he has gone beyond all this. For him, there is no need of anything lower than that. Say we see in young children, they have many playthings, say dolls, especially the girl children, they have dolls. What doll that is? That any special kind of doll. But when they grow up, no need of having those dolls. Now it is for another children. So when there is that state, in that state, say child state, that is important. But when one grows up, then it is no need. There is no need for that. So mumukshur vai na mumukshur navai muktaha, because he's already mukta. So say like a snake on a rope. When there is no snake, how can you posit that, oh no, there was a snake? When you have come out of your dream, you know that there is no existence of your dream, then you are not worried about dream. There is no need of, oh, how to go out of this dream. What will happen to that examination tomorrow? You don't worry about it. Why? Because there is no existence of that dream world. Na mumukshur navai mukta ityesha paramarthata. This is the ultimate truth. There is neither death nor birth, neither a bound nor a struggling soul, neither a seeker after liberation nor a liberated one. This is the ultimate truth. Now, see, many times you meditate, and sometimes your mind is not engaged in meditation. Sometimes here it goes here and there. But you are there. All the thoughts are coming and going. How does it matter? Suppose you are not having that experience, but you are there. All these are like thoughts. Thoughts are coming and going. You are conscious being. On that conscious being, all thoughts are coming and going. Of course, concentration is important. You have to concentrate. And that is why you are practicing meditation. When you concentrate, what you are doing? You are becoming that consciousness. So Sri Ramakrishna is concentrated consciousness. When you meditate, you become one with that concentrated consciousness. And that is what we want to have it. And it is already within us. Therefore, not to worry about if sometimes it is not happening, doesn't matter. You can read about him and again try. So concentration is a must, but not to worry about, because all these are various mental modifications. So now we go to the next. So if there is no bondage and there is no liberation, freedom, then why Shastras tell about it? That you do this, you concentrate, you meditate. Why all these things are? It is for the good of those who have not attained. That means who still think that they are in bondage, who think that still they have not grown up to the mark. Yeah, just eh? Hmm. So it is, like say, like example is given, like a child, it is afraid to go in darkness. Then elderly person comes with a lamp or say light, a torch, and shows, you see, this is the road, don't worry, don't be afraid, go up, go forward, then you'll get it. So similarly, all the scriptures are not false. Those who are seeking, those who have not attained, for them, this is the light. So it is important. So we go to the next. Sakala Nigama Chuda Swanta Siddhanta Rupam. Eh? Okay, দু রকমই আছে। সিদ্ধান্ত রূপম, তোমার ওখানে গুহ্যম আছে? হ্যাঁ? परमिदम अति गुह्यम दर्शितम te mayadya अपगतम. I have two readings, both rupam, siddhant rupam. Paramidam ati guhyam darshitam te mayadya apagata kalidosham kama nirmukta buddhim sasuta vat sakritvam bhavayitvam mumukshum. I have today repeatedly revealed to thee as to one's own son this excellent and profound secret, which is the inmost purport of the Vedanta, the crest of the Vedas, considering thee an aspirant after liberation, purged of the taints of the dark age, and of a mind free from desires. So now the teacher says, like a parent teaches his or her word lovingly, similarly, I have given you the gist of all scriptures. Sakala Nigama Chuda, Chuda Swanta Siddhanta Rupam. So this is the gist of all scriptures. And I have given to you. Param idam ati guhyam. This is supreme. And this is very subtle. And I have given darshitam te mayadya. Today I have shown you this. Apagata kalidosham kama nirmukta buddhim. And by this you can remove. So like I have today repeatedly revealed to thee as to one's own son this excellent and profound secret, which is the inmost purport of the Vedanta, the crest of the Vedas, considering thee an aspirant after liberation, purged of the trains of this dark age, and of a mind free from desire. So this is a kind of praise of this Shastra. What is this? It is the gist of all knowledge that is being said here. So I have given to you, and because you are a wonderful aspirant, so I have given to you, like my son, so that you can go beyond the dark age. Apagata Kali dosham, all the disease of Kali, or the defects of Kali goes away from him, from you. Kama nirmukta buddhim, and your mind becomes pure without any desire. Swasutavat sakritva. Sakrit. Sakrit means once, but here it is sakritva. Swakrit, sakritva. No, asakrit here. Sakrit, asakrit. Sakrit means once. Asakrit means again and again. So here, swasutavat asakritvam, asakritvam. Asakritvam means again and again I told you. Bhavayitva mumukshum, because you are mumukshu. Iti srutva gurur vakyam prasrayena kritanatihi satena samanugyato yayau nirmukta bandhana. Hearing these words of the Guru, the disciple out of reverence prostrated himself before him and with his permission went his way, freed from bondage. Gurureva sadananda sindho nirmagna manasah pavayan vasudham sarvam vichachara nirantara. And the Guru, with his mind steeped in the ocean of existence and bliss, absolute, roamed verily, purifying the whole world. All differentiating ideas vanished from his mind. So in other shloka it is said that Vasantavata lokahitaya charanta, like they are like a spring. They give cool breeze to the people. Therefore, they roam from one place to another. So Guru also, and the Guru, with his mind steeped in the ocean of existence and bliss absolute, roamed, very purifying the whole world. So Guru also started from there. Ityacharyasya shishyasya samvadena atma lakshanam nirupitam mumukshunam sukha bodho upattaye. Thus, by way of a dialogue between the teacher and the disciple, has the nature of the Atman been ascertained for the easy comprehension of seekers after liberation. So this is the praise of this Shastra, Vivekachudamani. So it is, this is also kind of falashruti. Now we go to the next. Hitamidam upadesham adriyantam vihita nirasta samasta chitta doshaha bhavasukha virataha prashanta chittaha shruti rasika yatayo mumukshavo ye. May those aspirants who are seekers after liberation, who have purged themselves of all taints of the mind by the observance of the prescribed method. That means already it is already said. Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhamadi, Shat Sampatti, 6 treasures, and Mumukshutva. So all it is all being said. Now it is only Swasti Vachan. Who are averse to worldly pleasures and who are of serene minds. Sri Ramakrishna today said, this world is lust and greed. This is the world. So this twin defect is to be removed, lust and greed. Who are averse to worldly pleasures and who are of serene minds and take a delight in the Shruti. Appreciate this salutary teaching. So here it is to praise Vivekachudamani. Yeah, last one we take it. Samsadhani tapa bhanu kirana pradhuta daha vyatha khinnanam jalakankshaya marubhuvi bhrantya paribhramyatam atyasanna sudham buddhim Sukhagaram Brahmadvayam Darshayatesha Shankar Bharati Vijayate Nirvana Sandayini. So here he puts his name and this way, for those who are afflicted in the way of the world by the burning pain due to the scorching sunshine of threefold misery. What are threefold? Um, um, that Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik. So Adi Bhautik, because of bhutas, that means Panchabhuta, five bhutas. This balance in five bhutas. Adi Bhautik. Adi Daivik, because of the divine principles, there is affliction. So that is Adi Daivik. And Adhyatmik means what is inside within us, in the self. That means not in the self, it is in mind and whatever is within. And who through delusion wander about in a desert. Desert means this is the desert. Here we are seeking water, but we are not getting it. We are deluded by the mirage in search of water. For them, here is the triumphant message of Shankara pointing out within easy reach the soothing ocean of nectar. So it is available to everyone. Swami Vivekananda used to keep this book in his itinerant days because it is soothing, it is available, it is like nectar. Brahman, the one without a second to lead them on to liberation. So samsara dhvani tapabhanu kiran. So here it's very poetic. Tapabhanu kirano bhuta daha betha kinnana. Those who are suffering, in short, those who are suffering because of this world. And jalakanshya marubhumi bhrantya paribhramyatam. They are like roaming in a desert, seeking water. For such people, Atyasanna Sudhambudhi, for them this is the closest nectar is available for them. Sukhakaram, which is pleasing. Brahmadvayam Darshayatyesha. And it shows that you and Brahman are not two, it is the same. It is Advaya. Brahmadvayam Darshayatyesha Shankar Bharati. So Shankar Bharati, Shankaracharya, Vijayate Nirvana Sandayini. Because of this, glory to him, Shankaracharya, Nirvana Sandayini, which lead them to liberation. So thus we have come to the close. That is what we wanted. But close means now we need not close the book. Rather, we have to read it again and again and try to cleanse our heart. That is the goal. Till we are totally free from bondage, the objective is not achieved. Therefore, if we feel we are bound, then we have to read again and again. And what are those? Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutta. And trying to, here you are to cogitate. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You have to hear it again and again. You have to cogitate. You have to find the truth in it. And then you have to get absorbed in it. Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So thank you very much. So it's a great journey. It's a wonderful journey. And we are breaking today. There's the 2 classes we are declared that we are going for summer recess. Hope there is no question. Yes. This one? Not this one. We'll take up something else. No class tomorrow. No class on Sunday. So like we have curtailed because of my travel, and also it is hotting up. So people are also going here and there, so many places. Okay, we say our prayer. Any question? Hope there is no question. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Namaste, Swami.
Namaste. Thank you. Eh?
Good timing. Last day and last class.
Yes.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste. Hari Om. Jai Ma.